The markets, well, they've been higher all week long. We've been talking about this. It's sort of out of sync with what's happening on Main Street. We have another big rally underway in futures right now. We've got Dow futures up 228 points. In the broader market, that rally continues with the S&P futures up 16 and NASDAQ futures up about 7 points. And this is despite news that private payrolls shed another 2.7 million jobs in the latest week. I guess the good news here, if you can call this good news, is that it's much less than expected. The street was looking for a loss of about 8 million private payroll jobs. So this is about a quarter of that. Emily McCormick has been looking through this report all morning, and she has more for us. Hi, Emily.
Good morning, Alexis. And yes, you really summarized that well. So we did see another 2.76 million private payrolls lost during the month of May, according to ADP. And while the number of job cuts was still strikingly high on a historical basis, it was below consensus expectations by a wide margin. And that expectation had been for a loss of 9 million payrolls for May, according to Bloomberg data. Now, this was a big step down from April's job cuts. We're at a record 19.557 million. We do see stock futures in the market rallying and extending gains this morning following the report. Now, taking a look by sector, we saw the services sector again bearing the brunt of payroll declines for May. These payrolls were down by nearly 2 million. Within services, we saw trade, transportation, and utilities industries leading the decline, shedding 826,000 jobs, and healthcare and social assistance roles fell by 333,000. Education industries were the only category posting net job gains for May. Those rose by 166,000. Do want to point out that we did see broad-based job losses across industries in the goods producing sector as well, particularly in manufacturing payrolls. And then by company size, we saw large businesses or those with 500 employees or more posting the largest drop in payrolls for May. Those cuts totaled 1.6 million. And we did see drops as well for medium-sized businesses and small businesses, but by a smaller margin. Now, Alexis, this does come just a couple days before we get the official government-issued report on joblessness, the unemployment rate, and on non-farm payrolls for the month of May from the U.S. Labor Department. That's coming out on Friday, but this is at least showing that we may have seen the unemployment rate and potentially even the joblessness peaking in April, potentially improving for May. Alexis?
Yeah, and speaking of that unemployment report out on Friday, our show, The First Trade, will start a half hour early so we can bring you that report live and then bring you analysis following it. So be sure to check that out. That's going to start at 8:30 a.m. Eastern here on Yahoo Finance. Emily, two big earnings reports out today from two very different companies. Zoom video conferencing, I guess in a word, astounding was their earnings report, as so many people now using Zoom as they work from home and do schoolwork from home. And also Campbell's. It looks like a lot of people were stocking up on soup during this pandemic. What can you tell us?
Absolutely, Alexis. So both of these stocks really seeing some benefits from the stay-at-home orders and some of the shelter in place that we've seen over the course of the past couple months. Taking a look at Zoom, growth for that company was absolutely massive. Now, first quarter sales were up 170% over last year to $328 million for the quarter ended April 30th. Now, as a relatively newly public tech company, Zoom had already been growing quickly, but this was leaps and bounds above the growth rates we've seen previously. It also raised its guidance both for the current quarter and the full year for both sales and profit. We're also seeing just a huge bump in usage among its highest paying customers. The company said it ended the quarter with about 265,000 customers with more than 10 employees, a more than four-fold increase over the same period last year. We have seen a number of analysts raising their price targets in the past 12 hours or so on the heels of these results. We saw RBC's Alex Zukin doubling his price target to a street high of $250 per share. We do see Zoom stock trading just around $209 a share in the pre-market. And then finally, taking a look at Campbell's, we also saw that company beating expectations on sales and profit for its fiscal third quarter results, also raised its outlook for the full year due to the increase in demand it's seeing during the pandemic. Now, the CEO, Mark Klaus, said in a statement, quote, "We experienced unprecedented broad-based demand across our brands as consumers sought food that delivered comfort, quality, and value." In addition, Campbell's products were purchased by millions of new households, with total company household penetration increasing over 6 percentage points in the quarter compared to the third quarter of fiscal 2019. We're also seeing shares trading just around the flat line here for Campbell's, but those are up for the year to date. Alexis?
All right, Emily McCormick, thank you.
Hey investors, Zach Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.